I felt so bad, man. Because it was like actually fine because it was gonna hit me and B, and we're Orn Alistar. Like I get fucking chunked out, but that's all it's gonna hit. And then I hit it, so it hits fucking all four of us. Holy shit! Oh shit!
Oh my god.
I just keep watching it on repeat. I can't do it. Holy, I'm the worst player that's ever touched the game. Okay. We good to go.
I'm good. I'm good.
We good to go. All right.
Yep.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ugly dolphins and beautiful squirrels? You're welcome back to the Friendgame podcast. I'm your host, Ian Dab, and I'm here with Alex. What's up, my friend?
Didn't take you much of a poet.
What? I don't know. Go roll with it.
All right. Oh Lord, what an eventful weekend.
It was pretty fun. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I think the food coma is gonna hit me here soon.
Oh shit, we gotta get going then.
Uh,
My food coma hit me earlier. I accidentally took a 2-hour nap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my brain's kind of melted.
Well, I mean, what'd you guys end up having though? Did you guys like go out to eat?
No, well, I guess we should say we're recording this on Mother's Day, so we both had our own kind of thing that we did. I went over to my parents' place and they made like breakfast stuff, so it's like eggs, bacon, ham, all that stuff.
Oh, really?
My dad got yet another new TV.
Is it even bigger now?
Well, it's only slightly bigger than the old one, but it's better. Like it's got
quality.
it's got better technology in it. Yeah. So he was complaining that what he said because my grandmother was there, so he's trying to explain it to her, and she doesn't know anything. So he was explaining that like the blacks on the other TV, like the dark colors didn't look black; they looked more gray. And then, like the colors weren't as bright, and the darks weren't as dark.
Okay.
And since he's a movie nerd and a TV nerd, he notices that, so he's like, "I want to get a new one." Which means me and you are getting a semi-used TV for our apartment when we get there.
Yeah, it's funny because the TV stand is still like I have a nice TV stand downstairs in the basement. So
is it like a real wide one?
Or... It is an actual like wide one because it used to sit in our main living room. So
yeah, so they moved the old 75-incher upstairs in our living room. My dad has a 77-incher now as the new one, and then the one we're getting is a 65-incher.
Oh, okay, thank God. It's not a fucking 70 plus. Oh my god, dude.
So I'm excited.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was just at my parents' place. What were you guys up
to? We had some brats, rice, and salad today.
Nice.
For our meal.
So your food coma was gonna kick in real good.
Oh, dude, it was real good. There's still leftovers too, so like I can go make some more later. Like after this podcast, dude. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. I'm so happy. I haven't had brats in like a long time now, and we you know, you live in Wisconsin, you kind of have to have it.
And it's summertime now, so if we'll be doing some grill out bullshit soon.
Heck yeah. Man.
All right. Well, our topic for today is we're gonna shift gears from what we've been talking about a little bit previous. We were talking a lot about board games, or I'm sorry, we've been talking a lot about video games, like the lists we made and kind of just like what we've been doing recently. So now we're gonna shift gears to board games and tabletop games and things like that, just as a kind of a different avenue via wish to talk about our interests and games we like, stuff like that.
Heck yeah. But before we do that, dude, you sound you sound different.
Do I? Is it in a good way?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
I'm hoping that your audio doesn't cut out with this.
Yeah, I am attempting to remedy my previous audio situation where I was cutting in and out a lot. I noticed it a lot in the previous episode when I listened to it back again. And that shit was fucking annoying to me, and it's me talking, so
Yeah,
I have a new headset and microphone, so hopefully it'll be better.
I I mean, it hasn't cut out while we used Discord before, so I don't see a problem with
Yeah,
it.
the last couple of days it's
Yep.
been okay, so we'll
So,
see how it goes.
anywho,
But yeah, so tabletop games, board games, magic, card games is what I meant to say before my brain defaulted. We did just recently play Magic yesterday for the first time in over a year, so I might have it on the brain a little bit.
yeah, just a little, dude.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I have like 3 Google Chrome tabs open with cards on them right now, so that's where my brain's at.
I see.
hmm But
Ah,
yeah, if we're gonna be talking about tabletop games, I'm gonna bring this one up just because
dude, I mean,
I have a one-track mind. So
I did just build a new deck, so.
you did, yeah.
And
That's
I didn't
exciting.
even have to spend money because you guys are all very nice.
I mean, you had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff that I wasn't using, so whatever.
Yeah. Ah, man.
And then you got some stuff from our buddies that we hung out with yesterday.
That's true. That's true. That was so much fun though yesterday.
That was very fun.
It was
Yeah,
very fun to be able to play Magic in person again. Oh my god, dude.
played some Magic. Played one of our other favorite board games too, Formula D. It's a good one.
That is a good one. Well, I'll go more into it later because
hmm
there's some funny stories to that game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
But eventful night last night playing some table Magic with some friends.
yeah, There's, we had we're playing Commander, so obviously it's full of memes, and we had a couple of very interesting games and very interesting endings to games.
I think the was it I'd say the highlight of the night for me is seeing the ninjas deck actually being being more relevant in the first like
Actually,
5 turns than just
yeah,
2 turns.
getting to do stuff. Yeah, getting
Yeah.
to do stuff. We have
Actually
a
flipping
friend
over
who,
to the big costs.
yeah, we have a friend who plays Yuriko, the ninja commander that wants to like cheat stuff off of his deck to deal damage to everybody at the same time, and it's been kind of lackluster the first couple of times he's played it. But the first like hour we were hanging out yesterday, we switched some cards out, gave him some upgrades, and it was fun to see his deck do stuff because that's what Commander's about,
Yeah. Yeah.
watching people do stuff.
I mean, you had a huge turn in one of those games
I got
too.
I got
Oh,
to do some
man.
stuff too. Yeah.
You put out like 15 creatures in 1 turn.
Yep. Well, are you talking about
The Slivers
uh
game.
yeah, the Slivers game? I got a real big combo turn off. I had a card that whenever I played a creature, I got to search my deck for a creature with the same power and toughness and just put it out. So I just put out like 6 creatures and then attacked and killed 2 people. I didn't even win that game though, so
Yeah, but that was by far the funniest game though. The funniest way to end the game.
yeah. No, I don't know. I think the coin flip was the funniest way to end the game.
Wasn't that the coin flip or was that a different game?
No, that was a different game.
Oh, that was a different game, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
Yeah, because it was the
yeah,
first game we played that was coin flip.
yeah. So I guess we can explain it a little bit. I'm not gonna go into like all of the details. We had one of our friends was playing. He's like a pretty competitive deck, and he had done a combo on his previous turn to exile his entire library, and then he had a creature out. Huh?
Was that in exchange for health, right?
No, he
Oh, that
he
was a different game.
he did Adnaz earlier in that game, and then he demonic consultation to exile the
Oh.
rest of his deck because he didn't have the first combo piece the first time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you remembering?
Oh, yeah, yeah, because he was going to. Is that the game that he was going to win? With
Yes.
with was it Labman or Thras?
Yeah, yeah.
was it,
He exiled his entire library and had a lab man on the battlefield, and the person to his immediate left, and then so the turnover was the guy who was going to win, someone who died, and then you, and then me, and then I died. So he had no cards in library, no cards in hand, and a lab man on the battlefield. So all he had to do was survive until his next draw step. and then he would have gone to draw a card, and then the creature he had said if he were to draw a card and he didn't have any, instead of losing, he was going to win. So all he had to do was just sit and pray that he was going to live long enough. And then what ended up happening is Alex had enough creatures to put him down to 3 health, and then at the very end, on his upkeep, our guy who was going to win had a trigger where he rolled a dice, and if he succeeded, he didn't take any damage and he won, and if he failed, he took 3 damage and died. So Alex is like, wait, this is the most interesting way to end the game. Let's just leave it up to chance. So Alex attacked and put him at 3, and then our friend Chris had to dodge the 3 damage trigger from his mana crypt or whatever it was. So he rolled the dice, and we're all just waiting in anticipation. He rolls the dice. He hits an odd number, which means he kills him, and then he just like dies instead of winning, just because of a 50-50 chance, basically.
Oh, that's so funny.
Which again, I will say that'll only happen because we're playing Commanders. That's why we play, because it's the stupid shit that happens.
Oh yeah. I in my new deck, you guys are gonna get to hear this, but I actually have I have a meme card in the deck. It's called Angel's Grace. Do you know what that does?
Not off the top of my head, no, I don't.
So it's a one white cost instant split second spell. So it sits on top of the stack and nothing else can be casted. It says you can't lose the game this turn and your opponents can't win the game this turn. Until the end of turn, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 is reduced to 1 instead.
Huh. Okay.
So this is just a meme card I want to throw in to just like, someone's gonna win. No, you gotta wait until next turn.
Or that's even like if you find something and you can like swing out with all your creatures.
Yeah.
And that would normally be bad because you would die on the backswing. You just play that like in response to them attacking you, and then like you go to 1, and then they're tapped out, and then you just swing again and kill them.
Yep. Yeah. So
okay.
So I thought,
but now I know it's coming, so I'm gonna play around it.
I know. I thought it's hilarious to use to stop other people from winning, and that's.
Yeah, no, yeah, when they have the lab man or the whatever else win cons,
you get one more turn to
to do something.
Yeah.
Why is Commander so fun? Holy shit! We had another game where I got to play like, what was it? I got to play 20% of someone else's deck to win a game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was an insane turn. I mean, the fact that you just... Oh, Lord. That was so funny, though. He's just like, yeah.
I got to play 20 cards out of somebody else's deck as my own, and then I won the game off of that. It was amazing.
I just, like, I enjoyed the fact that you're just like, yeah, so I'm going to play this for 20, and now I'm going to choose you. So you give me 20 cards from the top of your deck. And then I get to play them for free. I'm like,
well, yeah, it's not like how the card is structured is you get to play the top X cards that cost X or less, but I made it big enough that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So there's scenarios where that card is like you look at the top 4 cards and play something for 4 or less, and you could just like not hit anything, and then it's real bad. But like I was playing the big mana style deck, so like I made it so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. We're trying to plan something for this next weekend too, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see if there's any more memes.
I'm hoping that we can actually meet up again because I have a new deck to try out.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've been brewing something, but I don't know if I'll have it by then, so I'll have to wait until the next time, probably.
Probably. That's all right. I mean, if we're trying to meet up at least like once...
You can't rush art, man.
A month or like once every 2 months, that's not that big of a deal.
Can't rush my deck building art style.
Oh, dude. Deck building is an art. It's fine. God.
That's actually a good segue into... I'm going to do our outline out of order. Speaking of deck building... You've been playing a deck building game that you've then finished, Library of Ruina, but you have a different kind of project that you're thinking about doing.
Okay.
that I thought was interesting and cool. So
Okay. Yeah. Was it I've decided as of this last week or so that I wanted to take up a project of making my own sort of deck builder adaptation of the Library of Runa game. So Library of Runa, kind of mechanically in the like card playing sense of things, is very similar to Magic, and the concept, like the mechanics of Magic are very attractive to Magic players in general. But I didn't want to bring like have to force people to play the story in order to get that kind of enjoyment. So I thought that, well, why don't I just work on my own project and make my own version of this as a tabletop game. So I'm still in the planning phases of picking out cards to start out with, and picking the characters and all the other all the other details. But that is my recent project idea that I've been working on.
it sounds interesting. It might actually get me to play the game, which is cool.
That's like overall, that's my hope, is that like you would enjoy this enough to where it would intrigue your interest in the game, because I like the game a lot. But this is also just like another tabletop game that I would like to play with my friends, because I think that the overall it's hard to get people to play Magic, right?
Yeah,
I feel
we have certain people who said that their brains are too small for Commander, and then I want to slap them repeatedly.
Yeah. So, was it that kind of? I think that's funny too, because the same. Some of this, some people won't take the chance to play Magic, or don't play a lot of Magic, or are kind of like intimidated by Magic. But when it comes to like a deck builder, it's a little bit easier for them to like get in there and play, right? So I feel that was the Library of Runa is kind of like that nice cross where the gameplay aspect of it is very kind of similar to Magic, in the way that there's a cost to play cards, and you gotta manage that resource, and like the cards all kind of interact in a certain way, and then it's kind of have that deck building style of a deck builder. Not a lot of cards in your decks. You can kind of like pick things and take things out at a whim. So that's that's my plans. That's what I'm working on. I've been looking at supplies to order and stuff, so that I can get actual cards into my hands, so that I can start drawing and stuff. And then I talked to my sister about helping me out with drawing some of the art and stuff. So it'll be fun. You'll get to be one of my guinea pigs.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm super down to play test stuff like that, just because it sounds interesting. Being a part of like I've said before, the part I like about Magic is like having a deck, but then like iterating on it and changing it very slowly over time until it becomes something that's like you've like worked on it for a long time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not a deck, it's like an entire game that you're working on, but you're still doing that process of like make a thing, try it out, change a thing, try it out again, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go in the kind of similar direction of, I think it's Aeon's End, if I remember correctly, or it's another deck building game where you can play it as its own kind of like a dungeon crawly mode, right? Where it's like you just do encounters, and then it can kind of be like a one-off thing, or you can go the more adventure side and then play the campaign scenarios and stuff. So It kind of gives you a was it a similar-ish feeling to the actual game and the story of the game, and then like you can progress together with your group. So that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. I like, if it's as fun as other deck builders that I've played, I'd be super down to sit and play it, just because like I've played a couple of other deck builders. Like I used to play with like my buddies from high school and all that stuff, and all those are all really fun.
Yeah, so. I actually haven't played a lot of deck builders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the only I'm trying to think about the deck builders that I've even played. I think I played. I
You can
played.
count Aeon's End. You can count, I think.
Yeah, played Anne's End. I've played the Resident Evil deck builder,
Yep, I played that one as well.
and I think that's about it. If I'm being honest.
I've
Was the
also played
tabletop game wise?
I played a DC universe themed deck builder as well.
I think that's Legendary.
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, like there's two superhero themed ones, and one of them is DC, and then one is like, was it kind of like its own universe thing? So
Yeah, I played the DC one. So.
I have on Tabletop Sim. I've played that other one that I was talking about because
okay,
I played it with Sean and some of his buddies, and that was pretty fun. Because it was like, there's a villain. You pick a villain, and then there's like encounters to the villain, and then at the villain is the boss essentially. Then, so
Yeah,
that's
that's kind of how the other one works too. Yeah, I like the thing I liked about the DC one was like you picked your like hero card that you like kind of played as.
Yeah.
Like your character card. You could like take any of the cards out of like the shop or whatever to like build whatever you wanted, but all of the heroes that were your character cards had like pretty like structured strategies, so like everyone was kind of trying to do their own thing when they were building their decks, so they all felt real different, and that was really cool. The Flash one was all about like drawing cards and stuff, so you wanted a small deck but to draw a lot of cards. Then the superhero one, or the Superman one wanted the there's like superpower type cards, and you wanted to just like stack superpowers just because Superman's the guy who has all the powers, so like he would like, use different ones and shit. And there's gadget cards and stuff, so that was more like Batman would use those and all that kind of stuff.
Most deck builders, now that I think about it, are kind of like are kind of PvP, right?
Yeah, it's like you're trying to get victory points and play against your friends. Yeah, so that's why I like Aeon's End, is that it's cooperative.
Yeah, that's what I'm going back to my idea for Library of Ruina's was the deck builder tabletop game. Is that I also wanted to make like something that is cooperative too.
Yeah, because, like fight with your friends against the bosses and stuff.
Yeah, because there's a lot. It's so easy to go out and pick a board game where like you are all competing against each other, but like unless you have the time, like there are board games out there that are cooperative, but a lot of them take a really long period of time, just to do like
a couple of the ones that we have are like big games.
Yeah, they're big games, or like if you want to run like a D&D campaign, right? Like that's a big thing too, right? So yeah, I mean, deck building wise, I love like deck builder. I've come to love like deck builder like video games, and Magic is definitely settled in on doing the card game deck build stuff. So I'm sure that like if there was a different deck builder out there that someone wanted to introduce me to, I definitely would give it a try.
Yeah, as long as I had people to play it with.
Oh heck yeah,
that's the necessary part. Because that's what makes it fun.
That is what makes it fun. It just makes me feel like I'm drafting.
I kinda, yeah. It's just like you're just drafting the whole time.
Yep.
Because then you can always take stuff out, put stuff in, and like it's different every time, basically. Because like unless you specifically only go for the same cards, but like that's not necessarily good to do. So
like, do you do you have any like funny memories from playing your like a deck builder with your friends back in like high school? Because I remember that you guys played I think Smash Up a lot, which is deck builder.
Smash Up is a different kind of deck builder. It's at the start of the game. There's like I don't know how there's a bunch of expansions, so there's more than I know even now. But at the start, you pick 2 factions of cards to make into your deck. So all the factions are like can do aliens or robots or dinosaurs or ghosts or zombies or soldiers or, cyberpunk guys, pirates, fucking just like a bunch of different shit like that. And you pick two and put them together, and then that's your deck. And then what you do is there's minions that have different like power and stuff, and there's different like effect cards that affect the board in some way. And the board is everyone is trying to place minions on different bases, and then once like the threshold on the base is met, it like is captured, and then based on whoever has the most power or most creatures on it, you get more points if you've invested more into the base, and then you win by getting like the most victory points, basically. And it was that was really cool because not only did your deck change every game because you can pick different combinations of stuff to see all the synergies, but also the bases all had mechanics on them. So there was like the alien base would give like a slight edge to like the aliens thing, but then like there would be disadvantage for other bases and stuff, and things would change. Like as soon as 3 minions are placed on this base, like a thing would happen. So you would have to like play around. Like, do I want to invest a minion onto the base? Because I know if someone puts something else on it, then like a different effect goes off, and I might lose out on points, or I could just invest in a different base, kind of thing.
Right.
So I just like that because it was there's like. It's similar. Like there's a lot of table talk, so like you can invest like, hey, if I go on this base, are you guys gonna like do anything to it? And then people are like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna do something to it. And like fuck you guys, and you like destroy all creatures on a base or something. The aliens had a card. It was called Crop Circle, and it just destroyed all minions on a base. So like everyone's like fighting over this base. Everyone's got like 3-4 cards sitting on it. And you just like the alien player runs over and blows everything up, and then plays on a different base. So, that was pretty cool.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah. My go-to combo was dinosaurs, zombies.
Dinosaurs and zombies.
Because dinosaurs were all like the real big dumb creatures that like didn't have any like effects or anything, but they had like really high numbers on them because they're big dinosaurs. And then the zombies cared about like when stuff would die, you can like bring them back because they're zombies. Right. They come back from the dead, so you could just keep playing your big dinos over and over and over. That was really cool. Another good one was robots, aliens, because robots had a lot of like when you play them, they have an effect like they shoot a laser or they drop a bomb or something, and aliens could abduct things to like pick it up and put it back into your hand, so you could just like synergize and like blow up a bunch of stuff, like alien abducting your own robots. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun, get together party game that you can just kind of throw together. Just really nice.
It's pretty simple. It's just like you read the cards and like whose numbers are bigger,
right?
Basically. But because the intricacies come in the synergies within your own deck. It's not hard to pick it up and play, but when you play more, you're like, oh, I know I'm playing this combo of 2 things, so I can look to do this or whatever.
Right.
And then you can also like, oh, I know Alex is playing dinosaurs, robots, so I know what he's trying to do, so you can kind of strategize that way.
Right.
That was really fun. I talked real fast there. Whoops.
Not a problem, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I didn't growing up. I think it wasn't until I hit like high school where I actually played other kinds of board games, because a lot of my board games that I like, everyone's played Monopoly. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. Sure.
Literally everyone has played Monopoly, and if you haven't played Monopoly, you can literally play Monopoly anywhere.
Play Monopoly on Steam if you wanted to.
Yeah. So everyone's played Monopoly. So like, my family is on that. But like as a kid, I played the really standard family board games. Since I was in after school care, for I think my elementary school years, essentially. So like I played like Sorry and Trouble, and I feel like
the classic kids board games.
Oh yeah, dude, I feel like a boomer talking about like these board games. I'm not gonna lie.
I was playing Scrabble and Connect 4.
Scrabble, Connect 4.
Go Fish.
Yeah, Oh, dude, the after school care program actually had the Uno attack thing. I don't know if you know what that
Oh, where
was.
like it spits the
Yeah, it
cards at
like
you.
spits the cards out
Yeah.
if you at random when you press the button. That was a lot of fun. I remember that. Was it But I think yeah, I think it wasn't until like high school where I was introduced to Settlers of Catan, and that was kind of like my
Oh
first.
shit, yeah.
That was kind of like my first was the introduction to, you know, a different style of board game because like
Hmm.
I had growing up like you've seen like Stratego and
Yeah.
like for
Hmm.
strategy games it's like
I
Stratego,
had Star
chess.
Wars themed Stratego
Oh
as a kid.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember playing Stratego with people, and all we would do is just like lay the bombs right next to next to the flag, and we had
Yeah.
no strategy at all other than to just march at each other and kill every one of each other's stuff. It was so funny, but thinking back, it was
Yeah.
really funny.
He
But
was just like, I want to put my big guys in the front and just walk at people until they die.
yep. uh, but like, it wasn't until I played Settlers of Catan for the first time. I was like, wow, this board game is awesome. This is really cool. I want to see what other board games there are. And then we started playing Magic, and then
It was
after
downhill from
Magic,
there.
it was downhill from there. But was it like it was at that point where I had decided to take take a look at some other board games that I can get into, and we played Elder Sign,
That's a good game. Yeah.
which was a lot of fun, and I remember that. And we also played Liar's Dice, which was hilarious.
Do you remember we had that fucking like 10-man game of Liar's Dice?
Dude, that was so funny. Oh
Everyone
man.
had 5 dice and there was like 10 of us in somebody's basement. So like everyone would shake and roll. The first person would go like, all right, 15 fours, and we'd all be like, oh yeah, probably.
And then it
Fucking
would
wild.
immediately jump to sixes. The next
Yeah.
person in line would just be like, would just be like
Yeah.
15 sixes, and then we all just kind of look at each other and it's like, yeah, I mean,
There's like 50 dice in play. There's probably 15 sixes. I don't know. That shit was wild.
that was so funny.
I feel bad for that person's parents because we were so fucking loud.
Oh yeah, dude.
We were super fucking loud, and then we also all had fucking dice in a cup.
Yeah.
Like, like the neighbors couldn't take a nap when we were playing Liar's Dice. It was so ridiculous.
And you know what we were we were doing. We were just living back in the days on a pirate ship. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to wager my years of servitude to Davy Jones.
But yeah, and then was I think it wasn't really. I didn't really get into like figurine board games as a kid. I don't know if you ever like remember Heroescape. I think.
One of my cousins was a little bit into Heroescape, so I've like played a game or two, but yeah, wasn't super into it. I liked the building the terrain more than actually playing the game.
Yeah. I just like messing with the
So,
little figurines and stuff.
yeah, mixing with the guys and the hexes to make the maps, the like
Yeah.
make like hills and mountains and bridges and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because my brother, when we were kids, got a Marvel themed one.
Oh, okay.
So like it came with like the what we know as now standard Avenger characters,
Hmm.
and then it had like its own terrain with a wall and like you could break the wall. So there's like a hole in the wall that you could break. But yeah, like I never really got into that stuff as a kid.
Or like Warhammer or any of those games.
Yeah,
those at
I
all.
have never touched any of those.
It looks super cool, but like I already play one game that sucks all the money out of my wallet, so I don't want to commit to that too.
Yeah, it's like the pills in hand. You have to choose one or the other.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do both.
yeah. That's definitely the right comparison.
So I didn't get into any sort of like figurine board games or games that featured figurines either. Up until I think we played I played D&D for the first time.
Hmm.
That was in high school, and that lasted for a session. So
Is
my very
that
hmm?
um was that before we did Flame Seekers
Yeah,
or?
that was before we did Flame Seekers.
Okay,
I
yeah, I
did
couldn't remember if your first game was mine also.
yeah, my very first session or my very first campaign that I played, I was a cleric. I played as
Mm.
a cleric, a human cleric, and was it that lasted a session, but it was really funny because um, story time. It was really funny because the intro of the campaign was all of us going into a dungeon, and then we ran into a bunch of dwarves that were locked in a room. Now, combat initiates, and we're like holding off the door as someone in our party is like, "Yo, why are we fighting you guys? Like, the door is, we came here looking for something." So we asked them, and they're like, "Wait, the door's open? Aw, shit, let's get the heck out of here." And then we looked behind us, and one of our guys was missing. It turns out that as soon as combat started, one of our guys ran across the hall into the other room and just locked the door and just sat in there until until we went looking for him.
Okay.
But like the character concepts during that was really funny too. We had a I think a half orc that dumped his into stream. Yeah.
Of course.
But it was really funny because like lore wise, he wasn't intelligent, and our gnome wizard was the one that was like ordering the half orc around. And
Yeah.
the half orc was just like, yeah, all I want is blood and to kill things. And
Okay.
so the gnome wizard was just like, yeah, you get to carry me, and was it you'll get to kill stuff. Don't worry, bud. So
That's wild.
what?
That is wild. Bitch, pick me up.
That's exactly what happened after that dwarf encounter. Was he's like, yeah, so was it you're gonna pick me up, right? Yeah, I have to. If you order me to, I have to. I was like, all right, he picks me up, and then we walked down the hall, and something else happened. But
That's amazing.
that was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago. Anywho, back on track with board games and stuff.
Yeah.
Some board games before we actually deep dive into some funny D&D stories. Eldritch
Yeah.
Horror,
I'll just.
as we know now, Eldritch Horror.
That's a good fucking game, actually.
It's a board game that has taken a lot. Dude, remember the first time that I bought Eldritch Horror, and I was like,
That's probably our most played board game. Us like bringing to people's houses and playing with friends and stuff. I would say.
yeah. It's 1 to 8 players, and it's cooperative.
Yeah.
It just takes a long time because there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
There's like 10 different decks of cards. There's a bunch, like several hundred tokens,
Yeah.
like a huge ass map, a bunch of items.
There's there's a whole bunch of bullshit that happens throughout the game too, and you could just instantly lose on the spot. On turn 1 is the funniest thing ever, though. Oh man, like getting getting your shit pushed in on turn 1 is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it's like Elder Sign in that it's very like eldritch horror-y themed, so you fight against like Cthulhu and shit, so there's a bunch of like otherworldly portal opens here. If you don't get there in 2 turns, it's like just madness consumes the world and you die. You're like, oh well, fuck, we can't get there, so we lose. Sad.
Yeah. I remember opening that thing and just being like, what? And then like we had to sit and read the like manual over and over and over again. Remember that? It was such a pain to like organize as well. Up until you actually did your
Up until I big brained. Yeah, in college I had a 3D printing class, and I was like, yo, I'm a 3D print a storage solution for Eldritch Horror that fits in the box. So now everything has its own place, and you can just like take the top off the box and just take all the little plastic things out and set them around the game board, and everything stays all nice and clean. Oh, and then like it takes 30 seconds to pick up because you just put it all back in order.
Oh yeah, dude, it makes it so much easier.
I was like, if we want to go to somebody's place and play for 5 hours, we actually can play for 5 hours instead of setting up for two first. So,
Yeah, that's a game that's got like some very funny moments.
mhm. It's like it's a lot of like rolling dice, so a lot of it comes down like, all right, you kill this thing or you die. Good luck.
We kill
Like
it. There,
I'm on an adventure. If I don't get this right, then like it super fucks the like several turns afterwards because you need
yeah,
to do this. Otherwise, it just starts this chain of events that just like giga messes up everything.
I think it's funny too that like when you kill off a character, they're not technically dead. You can still go and like
Yeah, go
take
visit where they
their
were.
and take their belongings and stuff because they're part of the investigation on it, which is really
Hmm.
really funny.
Yeah.
So like you
A
can
lot
kill
of
off like 5 different people in a row.
yeah, there's a lot of different characters in that game too that you can play as that all kind of like function uniquely, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of them are like technically are better than others depending on like the boss you decide to fight. So
Mm.
like because there's like I mean the example I always use is that there's like a sailor character who really cares about like traveling via the sea and getting it for free and having different bonuses and stuff. And then there's a boss you can fight against that like a lot of the like otherworldly encounters and stuff take place on like the ocean tiles.
Yeah.
So then he's really good for that. But then if you're not fighting that boss that cares about that, then like he's kind of like his power doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
collaborating with your team is really important in that game too, which is really fun.
Yeah. That is the really fun aspect of it for me is I get to work together with people to overcome this eldritch abomination.
I could help you, or I could get this cool gun. I'm gonna go for the gun, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm dead." See you guys, bye.
Oh my god. That was a really funny
Yeah.
moment.
That's a classic.
Yeah. And then
Now I just really want to play that game now.
I mean
All these games we're talking about.
if we meet up next weekend,
We could maybe kind of try to
that in.
swing that.
yeah.
Yeah, that would take a while because we'd have to teach those guys. But I'm down.
It'd be a little bit longer, but I think it's a nice departure from just like playing Formula D, which is another game I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Formula D is fun. F1
It's
racing board game.
I was gonna say it's. I was explaining it to my my dad today because
Mhm.
he was just like, "Hey, what have you been doing?" And I explained to him that it's a Formula One like race car racing board game, and he's like, "I don't think I've ever heard of that, anything like that before." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, because it's like it's unique and fun. It's
Yeah.
really cool."
Yeah, that's a really fun board game. That's a board game that I didn't even like introduce myself. I was introduced by Sean because
Oh yeah.
I went over to Sean. Oh, we played that during. Was it we? Did we play that during? No. Yeah, we played that during one of Sean's like one of our board game meetups. When they were living at their old place. Because we were meeting up every now and then to play Dark Souls, the board game. Which
Oh,
is actually
I
pretty
do
fun.
remember that. Yeah.
But then, like, I decided, I was like, you've talked about Formula D, and I know that some people, like, wasn't super duper interested in it, but, like, that sounds really interesting to me, so, can we play that at some point? And he pulled it out. And I just, like, I loved it. It was so much fun.
It's super fun. Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was so funny, because, there was a time where we had like 6 people in a race. So like the first turn is just everyone trying to like brake because the other person is in front of him, but the other 2 lanes are taken up by people. Oh man. The opening is
Yeah.
was just a mess, which was really funny. But yeah, like that board game is a lot of fun.
I like because it's like there's strategy involved, but you don't have to like be constantly tuned into it, which
Yeah.
is something that like is a good change of pace because it is fun to like have to think really hard and like making all these choices and collaborating with everybody and make sure like don't make any mistakes and always be focused. But it's also fun to just like, where am I? All right, I roll my dice, I move my guy, and then I could just like hang out.
Yeah.
It's a good game to like if you're having a like kind of a bigger group of people, you can like put it on the table and then everyone can like not you don't have to everyone sit around the table all the
and just
time.
like consciously think about the game,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I liked about because I played it in college one time because someone else had it and we
Uh,
just like had it in somebody's room. We were all just kind of like sitting away from the table, like chilling, hanging out, having some drinks, and then when it
yeah,
was your turn, just like walk up to the table, do it, and say, "All right, I'm done," and then
yeah,
like everyone was still playing the game. We're all just able to just like hang out and shit
yeah,
too. That was really fun.
yeah. I also like that. Like, was it the strategy? Like, it's a good breed of like strategy and just RNG bullshit, which is really funny.
Sometimes RNG bullshit is pretty fun.
Yeah, because it's like you could spend like you could just pay attention to the game, right? Where like you just sit and you strategize and you're like, okay, this is exactly what I need on my turn. Like I need to roll this die, I need to shift at this point, but then you hit the wrong, like you hit a max like 20 roll, and then you overshoot that turn by like 5 tiles, and you just take out a ton of damage, and then you're just like, at that point, like, why are you so invested in this? You know, it was always really funny at my house when I played it with my family because like we all stop sitting down and we all stand up
Yeah.
because we just can't see the entire board, and then like we start like walking over to the kitchen, getting drinks and stuff. It's such a good time.
Yeah. One other game that I really like that I'll only talk about briefly. Have you ever heard me talk about King of Tokyo?
No,
We
I've
should look
seen
at
that. I've seen that around.
we should
But
look at getting into that. That's another one I played when I was playing Smash Up with my other friends. It's
mm,
you play as kaiju,
oh
like
really?
like Godzilla and like giant turtle and like a bunch of other like kaiju type
Mm,
monsters, and you fight over control of Tokyo.
oh really?
And what you do is everyone takes turns being the king of Tokyo, and then
Mm.
like you have to try to like deal damage to like buildings and shit, and then you get points for it. And then but then it rotates. So, like when you're a king of Tokyo, then you rotate out, and
Uh,
then like everyone kind of moves in a circle and takes turns doing it. So that you have to like make the most of your turn when you're there. But then there's like also side things you can do when you're waiting to like try and like make your next turn better or try to fuck up other people.
mm,
And it's just like it's just fun just because like you get to play as kaiju and just like beat shit up, and it's really
yeah,
fun. And it's pretty quick too. Like you can get a bunch in a row. So I liked it for that.
yeah. I got introduced to a larger variety of board games when I went to Sean's bachelor party. My buddy
Oh,
Sean's
yep.
bachelor party. Essentially, what we did for that was it was five of us. It was 5 of us. We went up north to one of their cabins, and you know what we did? We drank, we played video games and board games.
Sounds like a fun time to me.
That's what we did. We were a bunch of fucking nerds.
A bunch of teach-ins sitting in a room together playing games.
Oh yeah, dude. You know how we ended that night? Watching John Wick.
That sounds like the perfect weekend. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, dude. Was it But yeah, like that's how I was introduced to Spartacus, the board game.
Oh,
That's
yep.
that's a
That's
weird game.
That's a game. Yeah.
Like that's a game that takes the politicking to another, like the actual politicking level. where it's just
Like,
but like
you want to play a board game with no rules? That's a game.
I think it's funny though because that actually captures like that time period so well though.
Yeah.
You know,
I
for like a board game. So like if you ever wanted to if you I compare that game to the memes about Mario Party where people are like, "Oh, if you want to keep your friends, don't play Mario Party." That's like the same thing that I would say about that game is that if you want to keep your friends, don't play Spartacus. The game takes a long time, and you screw each other over a lot.
It's part of the game
Yeah.
to fuck over your friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to win, you have to just be a scumbag.
Yeah. Was it
Which is funny sometimes, but not for me all the time personally.
Yeah. I can take the I can take that game in like very small quantities, but then it starts dragging out. You know, it's not like a commander game where even if you're playing against someone with stacks, it will end eventually because the 3 other players are just going to be really annoyed and kill that person. Right. So, and like they'll know like subconsciously to do that, but it starts getting to the point where everyone's just like, I don't care who wins. Like, oh, this person's the closest to winning. Like, you just start helping that person because you're like, you don't want to sit there any longer.
That's how it happened every time I've sat down to play that game with you guys. Is that we'll play for like a couple of rounds, and then it's like, as soon as someone starts getting close to winning, everyone dogpiles on them and like actually just pushes them out of the game, or everyone's like, all right, you just win. You're close enough.
Yeah.
Let's play something else.
Was it the other board game that we played that I thought was a lot of fun was God, I don't remember what the name is, but it is a first person arena, like an arena style shooter, but a board game. And it was actually a lot of fun. So like you picture something like Quake, but it was a board game. And was it you get like weapon power-ups and like item power-ups, like health kits and stuff to like heal yourself. But the funniest part was that when you died, you get a hack, you get a cheat card.
Oh.
And that card like breaks the game in some way, but it's funny.
That's kind of interesting.
But it's really funny because it all stays in tune with like the sort of like FPS arena shooter genre.
So like wall hacks and
yeah,
bots and shit.
Yeah, like
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. That I get to play, and then like the cool part about that was that before the game started, essentially you get to like write in your stats. So you get like a certain amount of stat points, and then that affects like your dice rolls essentially. So like you could be really fast, you know, you could be like the really fast character that runs around and picks up all the power ups and uses them, or you could be the guy that just like starts out with the pistol and kills everyone because you have a lot of power. So that was a lot of fun. We also played Mysterium, which was a like cooperative puzzle game, an investigative puzzle game. So you, one person is essentially a ghost, and
yeah, I played this with my family the other day actually.
Oh, did you? That's funny.
I don't remember if it's exactly the same, but yeah, one person's a ghost. The rest of the people have to try to figure out how they died.
Yeah, and like they're given like pictures. Yeah. So like
it's just like picture cards, right?
Yeah, it's just picture cards, and like you're supposed to try and interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the one we played was a little different in that each like non-ghost player had a hand of like a couple of different cards. So one was the ghost draws a picture, and one was the ghost makes a noise, and one was the ghost does like a charades thing. And what you do is you ask the person a question like, you know, where did you die? And then you play the picture card. So then they have like however much time to draw a picture to answer that specific question.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah, so then like the ghost had like a scenario card where it's like, oh, I'm a waitress at the restaurant, and the person who did it was a businessman because he was, I don't like, you have to get all those details correct in order to win.
Right.
So that was pretty cool, just because it's like a bunch of funny shit, like make a noise and like, all right, what killed you? And then you make the noise cards. They have like, they're allowed to make one noise to try to answer the question of what killed them, and like it's just people making fucking stupid noises.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I thought it was really funny for what we were playing is because the ghost can't talk at all. So because the ghost can't talk, you have to interpret what they're saying with the picture, right? But there are times where they just don't get a picture that's like makes any sense to the three like scenarios that are laid out in front of the players. So you just get like, you get the pictures, and then you look at like all the players look at them, and you get some of the players who are just like, what the fuck, like this doesn't fit with anything, and then they like look over to the person who's the ghost, and the ghost is just like can't like say anything, so they just like look down over the screen. It's so funny.
Or you just like when you're the ghost, you're just slowly watching your teammates like get further and further away from what you're trying to show them, and you can't say anything. You're like, oh fuck, shit.
You start doing you start digging deeper into the rabbit hole where you're like, yeah, but what if he thinks that like it's like this, and then they like start nitpicking this one little detail in the picture.
Yeah.
That's not actually anything. Yeah. Have you ever played like any of the like poker card games and stuff? Or the
Poker?
Did you say? Have you played like poker and stuff?
Yeah, we did in college a little bit.
Okay.
Played like Texas Hold'em and shit.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Not too much with my family either. We played a lot of when we had like big family get-togethers, we played like spoons.
Yeah.
And
spoons, yeah.
we played Presidents, if you've ever played that, which was a fun.
I played a lot of euchre. If you've played that,
I don't think I've played that.
That's a boomer game. So,
but yeah, that's those are some of the other card games that I've played. I think overall, though, I haven't really played too much when it comes to variation. I think a board game that I'd like to try is Ticket to Ride, because I've heard good things about that.
Ticket to Ride?
Yeah, it's like a train, a railway-based board game.
Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that one.
I don't actually know what the game is about. I've just only heard that it's good. So.
Oh, all right.
So.
Once we're, actually having plans to like get in the swing of like hanging out with people again, that I would be more inclined to invest in some more board games.
Yeah, me too. It's just like.
Plus, if we have an apartment soon, like we'll actually like have a place to put them all. So.
Man, there's some.
And then we can host board game nights too, which will be.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be so much fun.
It'll be good for us to actually have some. I don't have any, really.
I have to remember to bring Formula D when we go down to Ohio.
Yeah, actually, that'll be really fun.
I'll get to watch B roll Big Blue.
Watch him explode in a fiery...
Well, my man's likes the high risk, the high risk stuff, so...
Yeah, don't say high risk, high reward, because it's never high reward. It's just high meme per second.
The times that we've seen Big Blue rolled.
When we played the other day, I got to roll Big Blue in that game, and I won. So that was a double first for me.
I was playing it with my family, and my uncle was about to get onto one of the turns where he had to stop twice, and in the rule book it says that if you overshoot a turn by 2, you just instantly die. But it doesn't clarify whether or not you instantly die on the spot of
or like
passing after. So the rule book does say that you take damage after you've made the move. So after you've settled in the spot, you take the damage. So we've just I thought then it means that if you as long as you cross the finish line before you die, you just win. And that's exactly what he did, because he came across this S turn, and you have to stop twice in the S turn. He's like, I'm just gonna roll the blue die because I want to, and he ended up winning because everyone else was trying to take the turn slow, and he just shot right through it, blew up, but still won the race.
They had the paramedics on standby.
Oh man,
that's really funny, actually.
It was great. Funny thing about Catan too is that I bought my own copy of Catan, as you know, right? Because I thought it was a lot of fun, and when I had first played it, and then I bought the 5 to 6 player expansion because we were playing it with other people at the time. And then I introduced it to my family when we had a family night. And my dad absolutely loved the game. So much so that he actually
so much
that for Christmas the year before he bought himself a 3D printer, and then he wasn't really doing too much with it. And then I showed him Catan, and he decided I'm gonna go online and see if there's like the schematics to make a 3D printed Catan, and that's exactly what he did, which was hilarious.
It's really nice too.
It is really nice because they him and my sister actually painted it.
And all the pieces like stacked together real nice.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. I would definitely bring that but there's only 4 players for that version.
Yeah, for your version. Mm-hmm.
For that homemade version. But that's a lot of fun. That's a really cool visual way of playing Catan. Because usually, it's just a flat board game. But
we haven't played that in a while, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we haven't played Catan in a while. There's a lot of funny shit in Catan too, though.
Yeah, that's another again where you can politic a lot, so you can just like fuck people over all the time and never make deals with anybody.
It's always really funny when someone rolls the robber, and either they're like just aggressive going after the person that like they just dislike, and then it's a feud between the two people, or it's I'm sorry man, but I have to. Like there's no other open spot. Yeah, that's a game.
I just remembering all the funny shit now.
We
had a lot of.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, just like funny shit for like all the games we played in general.
Yeah,
especially like we had a lot of funny D&D stories too. So funny.
Oh my god, dude! I think D&D like the best part for me about playing D&D is not not actually playing the game. It's everything that happens in the game or around the game.
Yeah, or just like interacting with your buds.
Yeah, just like the like chilling out and making memes as we play a game is the funniest thing ever. And like the fact that it's highly interactive, like the game itself is highly interactive, makes it even funnier because anything that you do that's really dumb in game just makes it even funnier out of the game. What was our first campaign was Flameseekers.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, when we did with Tyler. Yeah, that was my first Dungeons D&D experience. We did a little Pathfinder action.
Yeah. Our buddy Tyler
He's been running like he has like a homebrew campaign that he's been running for like a long time. So we like Alex and I finally got around to doing a session with him, and it was it's supposed to be the super serious campaign. He's been working on it for so long, and it's like really interesting, like story wise, and like the plot's really interesting. And then we come along and just like
we memed it.
We're just like dicking around the whole time.
Dude, we memed in that campaign so much. It's so funny. I played a human summoner, where she had the ability to summon a Eidolon creature. So it's
like a dragon kind of thing.
What I inspired my creature to be is kind of like a small like baby dragon that's growing to be bigger. So that was my character. I was a charisma caster that was actually also a melee character because our buddy Tyler likes to have sort of special things with your characters to make them a little bit more unique than just like the Pathfinder character, right, or class. So my character had the ability to revive a person if they were to die once per, like, I think there was a limited time period with that. So there's like once per whatever the time period is, you can cast this spell and it will automatically revive someone that would usually die. They still experience death, but they come back to life. And then the other thing that I had was that I could essentially create a sword out of magic so that I could be a melee character too. And then your character was a.
Yeah, I think it was a half elf.
I think that's right.
Half elf gunslinger. I can't remember if it was half elf or full elf or
I
not.
think you were a half elf.
Yeah, I was half elf gunslinger character, and she was supposed to be like a cowboy type character. So she had like she in Pathfinder had like gun rules and stuff, so you could do like revolver like pistols or like rifles and stuff. So I did pistols to be more like I'm a like a ranged gun character, but like a little closer ranged than like a rifle character would be, just because I feel like that was cool. So I was like very nimble and like quick, but also had guns. And my thing, I had my like special thing, like you were talking about, was I had a special gauntlet that I could quick draw and not have to like drawing weapons and reloading weren't actions. I just did them so fast that it was just part of, I didn't have to spend actions to do it.
Yeah. What was it? Our buddy our third party member, Jose, was a.
He had a bunch of shit. He was a half orc
changeling. Was that it?
He was a half orc werebore.
Oh, werebore. Yeah, because he had like tusk and shit too.
Yeah, he was a half orc, and then like instead of like being a werewolf, he would transform into a wolf. He would like semi transform into a boar. So yeah, he would be like his like head would get real big, and then his tusks would get real long, so he could fucking like gore people with that shit.
Yeah.
But then he also had a scythe.
Yeah, he also had a scythe, which had that thing had a ×3 for crit, right?
I don't even fucking know.
I don't remember, but
I remember him like. That's the part where every time we talk about D&D, we always mean that the first roll of the campaign is always a crit. But that started with this campaign that we're talking about currently, because we had your generic vanilla, your first fight in your D&D campaigns in the tavern, right? It always is. And Jose went first, and he rolled a crit on somebody, and he headbutted a dude so hard that his head exploded.
That was so funny. Oh man. Super serious scenario about to go down. These thieves walk in. They're like, yeah.
He's walking in like trying to like kidnap somebody or something. Like,
and then Jose's character just stands in front of him and is like, I headbutt him. And like, all right, roll attack. 20.
20, and it did a lot of damage. Since the werebore, like he has tusks, so it's like gore damage or some shit. However, that's calculated, so it's gonna be the bonus damage anyway, regardless. But then, you nat 20'd it. So
that was so funny. Was it do you remember the other nat 20 that we had in that same day? We went outside to talk to the guards, and then.
Oh yeah. Wait. Am I thinking the same thing?
Yeah, that was when we had to talk to the guards because the people were kidnapped, so we were trying to get information, and we were. Was that campaign?
You're thinking of
that was a different one. That was a different one.
Yeah, that's another funny story. So we can tell that one in a different campaign that I think you were running, Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was running that one. That was funny.
I was playing a different gun character. I was playing a shotgun paladin, which is fucking awesome, by the way. So I was a charisma based holy shotgun character, and we were doing what Alex was saying. We were going to find bandits or some shit. So we were talking to the head of the guards or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, what's going on? We're gonna go out and find him. Can you get us some shit, like a carriage to get there, or some supplies and shit?" And I roll a diplomacy check or whatever it was, and I nat 20 it. So we came up with the description that I sweet talked this guy so hard that he's gay for me now.
He was very attracted to you at that point.
100%. So we got all this shit, a bunch of basically everything we needed for our adventure, and it was free. So that was really awesome.
God, dude, we're gonna go back to Flameseekers, our first campaign, because that had some really funny stories.
Yeah.
We can kind of go in order here. Was it our second thing that we ended up doing was going to rescue people. There was a head bandit guy, so it resulted in a boss fight, and again, our big half orc werebore decided, I'm gonna run up to the boss and I'm gonna hit I'm gonna use my scythe and I'm gonna hit him. And that 20, the
And
boss.
he was a barbarian too, so we had like rage mechanics.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he nat 20'd and just one shot at the boss.
One shot the boss. And our big thing too is like our DM at the time, he was like, "All right, describe how you kill him." So he was like, "Oh yeah, I pick him up and then I put my sword between his legs and then I rip him in half." And we're like, "Whoa, bro, chill out." But it was fucking sweet.
Yeah. And then we were doing so well that we got dumpstered in the next encounter.
Oh yeah,
You remember that? Oh man, that was so
we were
funny.
one-shotting everything so hard that the next encounter we had to fight what was like jungle panthers. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And our DM was like, "Well, you guys can handle it." So there's like fucking like 6 of them, and he TPKs us. He's like, "Oh wait, slight balancing error. We'll try it again next time." It was like we spent several hours in combat and then we lost, and then he had to rebalance it. It was amazing.
That was so funny. Oh,
They
man.
all pounced us, like we were
Yep.
like incapacitated, couldn't do anything, and then we just got like chain fucking beat to death. All 3 of us. It was amazing.
Oh man. And then after that we got into the manor.
Yeah, the infamous dungeon, because like we were saying before, our buddy Tyler, he's been running this campaign for like years and years and years. He's had so many different parties go through it and stuff, and so this was like the thing.
This is
Like
this is like the big thing that really catches a lot of his group's attention.
Yeah, the White Bridge Manors. It's like really cool dungeon with a bunch of puzzles and different encounters, and like he has like pre-generated shit, but then like random events that happen, and like all this wild, amazing stuff. And we memed our way to a world's first completion of it. It was so awesome. There's like this could be a fucking episode, which is us talking about all the stupid shit we did at this one D&D session. Like actually, like
The short answer of everything that happened is that there's generally a flowchart on how things are run in the manor. So you go here, oh, you can't open that, so you go to another room, and then you find a key, and then you try and use it on that door. It doesn't work, so then you go and use it at a different door, and it works, right? So there's like this steady flowchart that he's explained to us before. Now that we finished it, of like how the manor works, and we broke all of it. There's a study room that you're supposed to find a key, but you don't know that it's like there's a key in there unless you go to a different room that explains it. Nope. Walked into the room, hit away, walked into the room, examined it, nat 20'd, found a key in a book.
the way he described it, he's like, this is like a study that has thousands of books in it. You would need to know exactly where anything is or find the organizational system to even remotely have a chance of finding anything in this room. And Alex walks up to a bookshelf, picks out a book, and oh hey, look, here's the exact key we're looking for.
We didn't even know what it was at the time, because that was the first. I think that was the first room that we went to, because they're like, okay, Tyler specifically warned us. Has made we've made jokes of always stay left, and he's always said to us like that's how people die in D&D, especially when there's campaigns that he's run. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna meme and do the other thing. So we went right, and that was the first room we went into and got to. And then we did that throughout the entire the rest of it.
Yeah. So we just like sequence broke basically all the stuff that would make the dungeon hard.
Was it the big like eye-catching encounter room? It's called the Atrium of Blood, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
It's like this beautiful big there's like gold in the room, and there's this fountain in the middle, and the fountain is filled with blood. But there's also, I think, piranhas in the blood.
Yeah, there's piranhas in the fountain.
So we walked into this room and kind of like took a quick look at everything, and my character walks over to the pond, and her eidolon, he sticks his head into the into the blood, and the piranha bites, and so my eidolon is like, hey, I don't like this, we should probably leave. And as I'm like, hey, I don't think there's anything here because it's just a big room. And then we all just like, okay, and walked out as the doors were closing and the blood was starting to fill up the room.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be a big pulse room that like kind of fucks you over if you stay too long. So
Yeah.
then we're like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna leave. We just close the door. We
Uh,
didn't go back.
there was God. There was another room. There was another trap room that that happens in. There's a bunch of traps in that manner.
Yeah, there's like the. Do you remember the? We make the DMPC stick his hand.
Yes.
In the thing. Yeah.
Yes, because was it a? This is for that thing that you had to stick your hand in.
It's like
forces you
it's
to
like
not lie.
yeah, it's like a truth. It's a trap that like it's like it looks like a big mouth that you have to do that to unlock the door.
Yeah.
So what you're supposed to do is stick your hand in it, and then like something happens, and if you lie, it like shuts on your hand and like cuts it off. So what we do is we make the DMPC do it because none of us want to stick our hand in there.
We ran into a bag of holding.
Yeah.
And
Every time you say something, I'm like, oh shit, yeah. There's another funny part. Like, there's like so many different things.
So we ran into the bag of holding, and we're like, our Tyler, our DM, is like, yeah, now you guys can just kind of like carry things. I give this to you. Generally, he gives this to his groups just so that they don't have to worry about inventory management. So we're like, there's this big ornamental sword. He explains it to us. Like in this box is a big ornamental sword. And he's like,
yeah, it's really old. It's kind of heavy. No, you guys like would use it anyway because it's just worse than all the other shit you have. Like,
yeah.
you don't need to take it. It's whatever.
And the DMPC is like, also like, nah, we should leave it. We don't need it. And the rest of us are like, but there's no reason for us not to take it. What if like we can sell it for something? It's like, it's probably not worth that much. I'm like, money is money.
We have a bag of holding. Like, fuck it, because all of us are like, we've all played RPGs before. Pick up all that shit. I need money. So we pick it up, this useless sword that we're probably not gonna use. And then like an hour later, when we're in this dungeon, we get into a room. We're like, oh shit, the door locks itself, and then like spikes appear on the ceiling, and the ceiling starts like lowering on itself. So it's gonna make us a bunch of Jill sandwiches. So we're like trying to get out of the room, and I think it's your character.
Yeah,
right?
we have like my character. There's this hole in the middle of the room that's very it's very peculiar, and the other two are trying to like break the door, and I decide to investigate this, and I found time to pull this giant sword out of the bag of holding and thrust it into the hole, and it actually stops the mechanism, unlocks the door, and we're like, oh man, thank God.
We're like, good thing we're a bunch of stupid RPG players that do that shit for no reason.
Yep.
Our DM's like, you guys fucking suck.
There was a mini boss encounter with a demon, right? Or a shade.
It's like a little devil demon.
Yeah. In the middle of like this cramped hallway, so we had a fight there, and this thing is like invisible and it's dark, so it's very like it's impossible for us to figure it out. And I decided casting an oil spell to make this thing fall would be a good idea. So I threw oil in the spot that I saw where it had went invisible, and then it failed its save.
So it fell on the floor.
And then I asked Tyler, our DM, I was like, can I throw a bottle of ink at this guy to try and to try and reveal where he is? And he's like, go for it. And so I rolled to throw, and it actually hit. And then we just mobbed.
We're just fighting against this little guy who is like, we can only see his little face that has like ink on it. And
yeah.
And beat the fuck off.
We just Zerg rushed that guy, dude. That guy died.
Then we all know where he is. That's the mechanic, is he's like not that hard, but you can't see him. So like once we saw him, we just like fucked him up.
And then we had the introduction to the horse. So we found a treasure room where the key that we found in the study went to, and we had to hide because there were guards coming. So
They're bugbears, for anybody that's wondering what they were.
So we had to hide. So all of us choose a place to hide, And then our cover gets blown by our DMPC.
He was making cat noises, by the way. Because he had very high int but very low wisdom. But anyway.
So we get into a fight with these guards. And on a whim, as a summoner, you can't, when you're in combat, summoning your Eidolon takes too long. So you have to kind of like, on a whim, pick some other creature, sort of like preset creature, to summon. And I was looking through this list and I found a war pony, so a war horse. And I was like, this is going to be the thing that I summon, because it has high health and it can tank. Lo and behold, I didn't know that this thing was also just a DPS, because the first thing that it walks up to, I command it to walk up to and hit it nat 20'd and killed one of the creatures.
And this horse just started putting in work.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We used it in like every battle from then on. And it also got through like, there's like this circle of light puzzle that's supposed to be really hard and challenging. Like if you get stuck in it, it's like
death.
Pretty much a death sentence. And we're like, nah, fuck it, send the horse through. And he fucking just tanks all these like walls of light that you're supposed to like strategically like jump between. And we're like, nah, let's just break them.
I thought it was...
just send the horse forward and he crashes through the whole walls and shit.
It was so funny too, because like we had tested out the first 2 layers. I think like each of us had come up to like try and get through the first 2 layers. And we made it through the first 2 layers, but we took damage.
Yeah.
And I asked our DM, I was like, I can summon the horse here, right? He's like, technically legal. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it.
Magic in any way.
Because the horse has a high fortitude roll, and I was like, okay, this horse, using your fortitude to go through these walls of light is essentially just breaking it with your body. So going through and tanking the damage, and if you win the fortitude save, you you take half damage, but the damage like ramps up as you tank more of the damage. And this horse beat the rest of the walls, which I think was 5, like it plowed through 5 walls straight.
Remember what it was, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like a demon circle or something, but he plowed through 5 walls straight and then died on the last wall while making it through. So that horse is now forever engraved as our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, but the best part is that fucking our other party member decided on what the horse was gonna look like. and it's just the horse from Adventure Time. So if you don't know what that is, just look that up. It's a fucking horse that like
has his little tongue.
He's basically just a series of circles because he's very poorly drawn in the stupid fucking cartoon, and he's just like sitting there with a dumbass look at his face. And the reason why it's so funny is because we decided that that's what he was gonna look like at 4 a.m. when we've been sitting there playing D&D for 8 hours. So it's like probably wasn't actually that funny, but since we're all so fucking tired, like, we all like no joke laughed without stopping for like 25 minutes.
Dude, that was so funny.
Ridiculous, man.
Oh man, dude.
Like if laughing is like actually healthy for you, I like will live to be 90 years old because of how much I laughed on that day only.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. My body hurt the next day.
Oh man. And then after that was the boss encounter, and we world's first it.
Yeah, no one's ever beat it before, but our ragtag group of fucking idiots did. That's pretty fucking cool, I guess.
We'll have to pick a day to do explain some of the other campaigns, but I wanted to for sure cover Flameseekers because Flameseekers was a lot of fun.
Yeah, if we're talking about tabletop games, we got to talk about that D&D campaign specifically because that's fucking insane, man.
We can maybe next episode we'll do the story time of Anime Fate. And
another meme-filled experience.
Oh, dude, that one could take the entire time. And our other D&D session that I ran. I think was that Pathfinder too? I think that was also.
I believe that was also Pathfinder. Yeah. Actually, you know what? That might have been our first 5e experience.
I think we were planning to switch over to 5e.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. But yeah, like that was another one that we can tell during that period of time. Anywho, I think we've gone on for a while now.
Sorry, yeah, I was googling to see. I was trying to find my character sheet for that one to see if I could remember if it was 5e or not, but that doesn't matter. I'll look for it later.
Yeah, you were a Holy Paladin. Then we had another Barbarian in that one, and then we had an Arcane Trickster too.
Arcane Trickster, yes.
And then the Fate system is just different from D&D. More roleplay based.
Rules light.
Yeah, more roleplay based, but it was a lot of fun.
It was super fun. Yeah, very customizable, and because there's you can just like do whatever you want. Basically.
It's very customizable. I made it a meme because I made it an anime based campaign, which made it even funnier to add on to the memery. We'll go through that one another time. I honestly, that is the campaign that I'm most proud of that I ran because it was the most fun for me.
It was really fun for the rest of us too. Yeah.
And then we have another campaign going on right now still, which is the Destiny tabletop RPG. And that one is funny too. It's a fun time.
If we do a Destiny themed episode, then we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
Compare, contrast our like things we like about ours and versus real Destiny. That might be interesting.
I'm sure we'll have a Destiny themed episode here soon, especially
There's
with
more stuff coming out recently, or not recently, but soon.
Yeah.
Coming out. So
within the next couple weeks here, we'll be back.
We'll see.
So.
But I think that does it for us here. Any other tabletop related shenanigans you want to say before we leave?
Nope. I got nothing.
Sweet. What our question of the day is, I guess, leave us with some tabletop games you like, or if it's D&D related, give us some D&D related stuff too, just because we're always looking for interesting things to do. So.
Tell a funny story. Maybe it was a funny or interesting time. Maybe an interesting scenario. Something like that.
We're a bunch of memers here, so we enjoy the memes.
Oh, heck yeah.
We're trying to keep the memes per second high, so.
All right.
All right, if you don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's it. See you, everybody.
Thanks for watching.